Well, I don't see the point in waiting any longer, so let's bring her out. The star attraction, the one you came to see. Ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only, Miss Judy Gold.
I need to start this podcast. Well, first of all, I am so excited that we have Molly Kate Bernard. Okay, listen. Molly, everyone, I know you all know, and you're all like, oh my God, how did she get Molly Kate Bernard? But I am very important, okay? What? So we will begin with telling everyone that Molly's dog's name is Henry, and she has another dog named Judy, okay? They're both Jewish. And my name is Judy, and I have a son named Henry. And so now Molly is going to promise me that her next dog will be named Ben.
And your next dog or child has to be named Molly.
Okay, I'm never having another child. I'm 50. How old am I? Oh my God, I'm 58. I was going to say I'm 55, but I'm 58. Listen, I have the best story. I have the best Molly story for you. So my friends got married. And he ended up being gay. I mean, he was gay then, but they got married and then they got divorced because he's gay.
Sure.
And they had a daughter, they're named Molly, right? And they're like really close friends, got a dog and named years later, like 3 years later, and named the dog Molly. And they never talked to them again. Because they named their dog Molly and they had a kid named Molly. Isn't that mental?
That is totally mental. And I think Molly is a fabulous name for dogs and humans alike.
Right. And you're a Molly.
I'm a Molly. And I think Molly is also one of the best dog names that ever did exist.
Yeah.
I dog sat when I was 18. I dog sat a dog named Molly, and she loved trash. And I would say, no, Molly, on the streets. Molly, classy, not trashy, honey. Because she would always, rifle through the trash. And I was like, honey, no, classy.
Molly, you are very beautiful. And today you have like makeup on. Like, what is wrong with you? Did you get up and and put on makeup?
What if I was like, I have no makeup on? I have a full press day. So you're my first.
Okay.
Sunscreen.
You're very attractive. You're very attractive. And I'm a leslie. Okay. So I know attractive. Before we get to your current life, which I do a lot of research on my guests. And I love Hannah Lieberman.
My Jewish.
I love her. I love her.
I'm marrying a Jewish attorney.
I know. What more can you ask for?
Absolutely nothing. Absolutely.
And she is also adorable.
She's adorable. She's smart. She's a good girl. She's a public defender.
I know. She's like a good kind of lawyer.
She is. That's right.
Now, Molly, you are, of course, on Younger. You've done so much stuff. I'm excited to talk about your new film, Milkwater, which you're the executive producer of.
No, what the
How
heck?
fucking great is that?
It's wild. I'm extremely, we made the film in 21 days and I fell in love with
What?
It was so fast. It was like a ultra low budget indie and it was quick and dirty and a lot of night shoots. And it's like, I called it an impossible project because it is, and it was. But then the director, Morgan Angari, sent me the edit and I was in love with it. And I was like, I'm coming on as EP, honey. Sign me up.
Really? I have a question. You put on your EP hat, right? Which is so vastly different than being a performer. You know what I mean? It's like you see this other side of the business or the creative process, right? Does that affect your performing? Like, because you have that knowledge now.
Oh, interesting. I want to do it again, kind of, I look forward to doing it again while we're making the thing, whether it's a series or a film, because
right.
it was actually kind of nice to come on after the film was made, because I then was able to use, like, I wasn't in my head while making the film as a
right.
was in my head which was already enough as an actress, like just dealing with that. What's been great coming on as an EP once the film was made is that I've had a lot of creative control about the poster, which I love. Like I ended up inviting a dear friend of mine to make the poster. She does a lot of the illustrations for the Times parenting section. Her name is
Nice.
Her name is Alex Citron, and she's just so fun.
Oh, Jewish?
She is very Jewish. Are you kidding?
Yes. There you go.
And she's a full delight. And I knew that like I wanted the poster to match our film in style, but also I wanted it to be delicious to look at. Like I wanted to have it up on my wall. And I feel like movie posters are such a crucial thing. It's a little bit like the cover of the book, or
absolutely.
Absolutely also buy wine based off the label. Like,
yeah. I mean, there's so many times I'll see the poster and be like, oh my God, I have to see that movie. Just from, it's we like visual stuff in this country.
I know. And so that was fun. That like I got to come in and we had so many calls with the distributor and I got to be on Zoom.
Wow.
And text.
Did you learn like so much?
I did. I learned a lot. I learned a lot about part of like having creative control. What I love most about it is that in this instance, it was extremely collaborative.
Right.
And everyone was extremely nice, but also we all knew exactly what we were very clear about what we wanted and what we didn't want.
Right.
It was so seamless. I really can't wait to do it again. I'm sure there will be times in my life that I do it that it's less seamless.
Right.
But producing is just about being organized and making your deadlines.
It's so amazing. I was a producer on Rosie O'Donnell show. I mean, being a producer, it doesn't matter what it's all about fucking details, like every little detail. You miss one thing, it'll screw up the whole. Yeah. All right. I have done a lot of research on you, and I know that you don't like to talk about your childhood, but I have been like, I read many articles that one said you're Jewish.
Yeah.
Sure. And then I had two different articles. One said you were born in Brooklyn and one said you were born in Las Vegas.
Do you want the truth?
Yes.
Oh my God. Okay. So I was born in Las Vegas and my grandparents pretty much raised me.
Yes, I know that. Joseph and Bina.
Oh, Joe and Bina. Oh, I miss them so much.
Oh, I bet.
So you'll love this. My grandfather was, he was Jewish and a communist.
Oh, really?
Yeah, his real last, he was blacklisted actually.
He started Lee Strasberg Institute, right? Yeah. Okay.
So he co-founded that and then was the artistic director there. So my grandfather was born Joseph Fieldman, and gentle ring of the bell. And his best friend was John Garfield. And this was during McCarthyism and HUAC was going on. And he was blacklisted, my grandfather, for being a commie and for being Jewish. And he was an actor. He was all of it.
Right.
So what he did is he changed his last name, Fieldman, to his father's first name, which was Bernard. Which is why I have kind of an ambiguous, like,
Right.
I think it's French. It's not. It's just like Minsk, Jewish, American.
Right.
Like, Brighton Beach. There we go.
So you're born in Las Vegas. What is with the Brooklyn? Because I know you went to, wait, let me look at my thing. You went to school in Las Vegas.
I did. I don't know what's with the Brooklyn. The Brooklyn appeared one day on the internet, and I was like, well, you know what? There's going to be weird things.
Right.
And a lot of truths, a lot of mistruths. So, any whoozlebees, I don't know. I guess my grandparents are from Brooklyn, and
right.
I've always lived in Brooklyn. Let's see. What is the Brooklyn thing? I don't know.
It's just funny because I had one article that said born in Las Vegas. All right. Okay. So you're born in Las Vegas. You go to school in Las Vegas, correct?
Oh, yeah. I went to this high school called the Las Vegas Academy of International Studies, Performing and Visual Arts. And it saved my life. So the reason why I don't like to talk about my childhood, and I'm going to give you one sentence, and that's all I can do right now in terms of my, where I'm at in therapy. But I'm estranged from my biological mother, and I actually never met my father. So my grandparents really did the brunt of the work. And this high school just was this magnet school I had to audition to get into. And it is like this crown jewel of Las Vegas. Like, I was in advanced placement classes. It gave me an opportunity to go and get a full ride scholarship to Skidmore.
Skidmore, baby.
And then Skidmore also set me up I always wanted to go to the Yale School of Drama because
right.
So basically this high school set me up for just an incredible, Clark County is one of the worst school districts in the country.
Right. I know. That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
So it's amazing that I can even read. But this high school is incredible. Like, the amount of care when I went, the faculty was like my family. I spent more time at that school than I did at any home.
Right.
Really set me up. Like, that high school was harder than college and graduate school combined.
No way.
It was.
Did you live on campus, or was it commute? You commuted?
There was a commute.
Okay. Your grandfather, Joe, you took acting classes with him, and when you were 6, you learned how to read is that correct? In his acting class?
Oh yeah. I mean, he had this studio. He retired to Las Vegas, and then he ended up opening his own little part-time acting studio. And I think he expected to teach, like the showgirls,
right?
And like the people on the Las Vegas Strip entertainment scene. And he ended up teaching like taxi cab drivers and school teachers and mechanics. They all were the ones who wanted to take the acting class. And it was he had such a sweet.
And did they realize that this guy is like major, it's not like you're taking an acting class, oh, let me look in the flyer and there's an acting. They're studying with a major acting. I know.
Teacher. I think some of them realized that. And I'm sure some of them had no idea who any of those people were. But I think he was actually like babysitting me. And that's how I ended up going to the acting class. And then I just couldn't. I fell in love.
Do you remember like watching the acting class and being like, oh my God, I want to do this? Or
yes. And I remember, he taught cold reading and audition technique at Strasberg. So he would do some scene study, but it was a lot of like learning how to cold read.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, why I still to this day love auditioning, because I learned how to do that before I learned how to do a play or be in a play or read. Like, it was more, how to show up, deal with your nerves, and be present on the fly.
It is so, like, if you're going to be an actor, that I took a class like that in LA, and just here's the material. You have 10 minutes. Come back. We're gonna film you. You're gonna watch yourself, and it was like, ooh.
Oh, I mean, it's a seventh dimension of hell, really.
Yeah.
But I think because my grandfather, he just like kind of taught me ass backwards. Like, I loved that he taught me that before. That was what I thought acting was. So when I went to this high school in Las Vegas, I did my first play when I was like 14 or 15 years old.
Right.
After being in acting class for basically 10 years before that.
Did you go to Clark County Public School before that?
I did.
What was it? Was it like showgirls kids? And like, what was the student body like?
Fascinating question. I mean, Las Vegas is such a strange mix.
Yeah. Yeah.
People just end up there. There's very few folks who are born there. Everyone has like a story of how they ended up in Las Vegas.
Right.
Now I haven't been back in like 15 years, but when I was there, when I was growing up, there were showgirls kids. There were like pharmacy kids. There was a lot of, there's a huge Mormon population and a big Christian population. So there's actually, like, within the city of Sin, there's a ton of religion there also.
Right. Well, they have to save the people.
That's right. Everyone needs to.
Yeah, they need to be saved. Very important.
God, my partner Hannah just came in from the outdoors with sunglasses, looking cute.
Let me see. Hannah Banana.
Look at her. Hannah. Yeah.
She is adorable.
Can you believe it?
I mean, the two of you are like hot one and hot two. I can't take it.
Okay, so listen, I have two moms who adopted me later in life, and they're married, and they're my light. They're my saving grace. When I first showed, like, I went on my first date with Hannah, and I was obsessed. And I mean, like drooling, like salivating, like my cheeks hurt because I couldn't.
Yeah.
And I showed my fucking mom a picture of Hannah, and my mom went, she goes, "Oh, she likes you." She's
Wait.
so good. And I was like, that's
That is so Swedish, kind of. So you're saying she's good looking and that you find her attractive. Is that what you're trying? Is she Jewish? Are any of your moms Jewish?
Yes, I got a Jewish and a Christian mom.
Okay. And I'm going to go with the Jewish mom saying she likes you.
Of course.
That's right. Because we cannot give a compliment. It has to be completely backhanded.
That's correct. You do this to your kids? I say, I love you. I love you so much. She goes, okay.
Oh, no. I am like, that is very, is she like any Holocaust? My mother was like that. My mother was.
Your mother was like that.
Yeah. So my mother was like, we never hugged. We never, nothing. There was no, the only thing that got any sort of, I would say kudos or you felt loved was when you had a snarky, clever comment. Like that was the money in my family. Like very funny, very, and I was taught like people who are emotional in public or are faking. So I was like, oh, this worked out really well. Growing up in Las Vegas to me is just a whole, because I'm older than you. For me, like Vegas wasn't a place people lived,
It's not like it.
Right.
I mean, it obviously is because I'm a human being and you're talking to me and I was there, but it's not a good, I'm sorry, Las Vegas people who are listening to this. It's not a good place to grow up. I did not have a good time there. I met one of the best friends in my life. My very, very best friend, Vicky, and her family. And they all moved back to the East Coast, though. They're all.
Did you visit Brooklyn or the East Coast when you were a kid? Or
yeah.
Okay, so you knew there was a world outside of Vegas.
I did, and I was just counting down the days, hours, and minutes until I could get the fuck out. I have not been back since the day that I left when I was.
Wow.
I had just turned 18. And I think I will probably make it my life's work to never go back.
Wow. That's pretty heavy. So, like, at what age were you where, oh my God, my grandfather's this like icon?
Screen Actors Guild magazine did a feature on him when I was like 14 or 15.
Right.
He was like the last great acting teacher alive. Because my grandfather also studied with Stella Adler. And
I know. That's amazing.
Yeah, his best, and he was in class for years with Marty.
Right.
They were very, very close friends. And so none of it made sense to me. Like I remember when my grandfather drove me up to the Hollywood Hills in LA to visit Marlon when I was a kid. And I was really afraid of him because he was really big and scary. And my like god uncle was Jerry Lewis. So I was.
Oh my God.
I was aware, but unaware. But I think because my grandfather was such a snarky guy and because Jerry was such a snark, like, and my grandmother also, I would get detention in school because I swore all the time because no one told me it wasn't okay to like shit, poop, dick. And I remember I overheard my grandparents talking about Bill Clinton's impeachment and I was like 11 years old.
Right.
Like, no, must have been, I don't know. I was in like first or I don't know what grade I was in. Must have been third.
99. It was 1998, 99, 7, 9, yeah, something.
I was too young to say things like, he just got a blowjob. That's okay.
Right.
And then boom, detention you get. So I was just around these big. Big. And I think my grandfather always said I had a sailor's mouth, but that's because I grew up. This is the other thing about growing up in Las Vegas is like my grandparents and I, before bed, we would all play like a round of poker. And
oh my God, I love them.
If they were perfect people, if me or my grandmother beat my grandfather in poker, he would call us a Nazi bastard. If my grandfather beat my grandmother, she would call him a cocksucker. And this is just like the love language that
But that I did that with my kids. My mother used to call me a truck driver. And why do you curse so much? And there is a study that people who curse a lot are highly intelligent. FY and I, you motherfuckers. So
right, cocksuckers.
you
Yeah.
fucking piece of shit, anus. It's interesting because my parents were older when they had me. They were 41 and 48. So you sort of had the same thing where you grew up with an older, different values. That's the thing, that they had different values than young parents. They were set in their ways. They knew, like, that's why they cursed around you, because they knew that it wasn't like, oh my God, she's going to be a horrible person if she fucking curses.
Right.
Motherfucker.
They also just lived through so much shit that
Right.
I think by the time they had me, they had sorted all of their existential bullshit out.
Right.
Listen, let's just help her a little bit along this. Life is hard and it's gonna fucking suck. Who knows what she's gonna live through? So like,
right.
Put her up right.
So all right. So you're going to these acting classes, and you go to this amazing were you popular in high school?
Judy, I was freshman and sophomore class president.
Okay, I'm gonna vomit.
You have to understand, I was also fucking prom queen. But
oh my God!
It's okay. It's okay. I went to a performing arts school. There were no sports. This was not, it was truly people, like, this was the freak school. And it's okay. It's okay that happened.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I was popular because I didn't give a shit.
Right. Was there anyone else in your class that we would know that went to the high school with you?
Yes. Julianne Hough. She's she's very, very famous. She's on Dancing with the Stars.
Right. Okay. I love that. Okay.
You know Kathy Najimy?
Of course. I love Kathy. She was a guest on my podcast.
The three of us need to have a hang. Kathy's one of
my God. I love her. I love that apartment too.
Oh, I know. Okay. Let's do a hang with
Kathy. Okay. The best.
She plays my mom. She plays my mom on Younger.
Yeah, I know. You think I don't know this shit?
I don't know.
Molly, I'm very, I love, who I love? Dan.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he's the best.
Dan. And I love Samia.
Oh my God.
Come on.
Our kids had a play date when they were very, very young.
Are they around the same age?
Yes. Henry and Samia I wanted them to get married, but it's not happening. And I don't want anyone, I wouldn't marry my son. Yeah. I mean, maybe one of them. I don't know. All right. Don't say that, Judy. That's terrible. That's mean. Shut up. Huh?
You have 2 sons.
2 sons.
So is it true that lesbians are destined to have boys?
So if you use frozen sperm, it's like 70%. I don't know if it's still like that, a boy, because they survive. The boy's sperm survives. But I got to tell you, I have Leslie friends with daughters. I love being a boy mom.
You have. I kind of hope we have one of each.
Yeah, that would be, I thought we were going to have one of each, but we didn't. So it's fine. But yeah, I love being a boy mom. But
you think you raised them well?
Here's the thing.
That's a weird question to ask. I'm so sorry. It's hard.
No. Here's what's interesting about lesbians raising boys. Because I've asked their girlfriends, because of course they're straight. I couldn't get any, like, they're straight. It's like they're, and I mean, for years I'm like, do you think maybe a little bit, like anything? And no. So this is the difference. They both have female best friends. They know how to be friends with a woman. It's never like that they're only, like, there's so many guys, especially, since I'm a comic, who just don't know how to have a platonic relationship without objectifying straight guys, without objectifying the woman, which is also very apparent in their material. But yeah, they don't ever think women can't do something. They think of us equally. They have it's like, oh, my best friend, blah, blah, blah. And it's like not a big deal, and it was never a big deal to hang out. And it's interesting that they're both bro-y kind of guys. So, and that was not from either of us, but they love sport. They're very straight, But then there's this other side. And I asked one of Henry's old girlfriend, what's the difference between him and other guys you dated? And she's like, oh my God, he talks about his feelings all the time. It's so annoying. So they definitely are very emotionally intelligent and in touch with their feeling so much. And they cry and they, like, I mean, I read an article where you were talking about one of the characters in Transparent where you would meet in the morning, right?
Oh, yeah.
And so I guess the cast would meet in the morning and you'd have to say what you're grateful for. And one of the bro guys just, like just had an emotional sort of.
So Joey Soloway did love Joey.
Joey lives down the street from me in Provincetown now.
Oh, really?
Yes.
That's fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
The whole Provincetown thing. I love Provincetown.
Yeah.
I'm a Fire Island gal myself, but I love
Are you?
I mean, yes, I am. But okay, so Joey, it's actually, yes, I just want to yes and what you said, but it's even a little more interesting because it wasn't just the cast. It was the crew, the transpo drivers. It was every person
I love that.
involved in making the show that day.
Oh, I love that.
Catering, PAs, everyone stood around in a circle. It was called the box. You stand on the box, and if the spirit moved you, stand on the box, do a check-in. How are you today? What are you grateful for? What's bothering you? Like a full, just open invitation to bring yourself, your feelings, and your vibe. I don't know. That's a terrible word, but
right.
Essence,
your essence
that day.
Right.
And yeah, well, I mean, it was my favorite part of being on that show. But yeah, one day this transport driver got up and he was like, I was home with my wife and I just feel like I'm able to talk about my feelings now because of this experience. I'm like, I've learned that being brave is being vulnerable.
What?
I had to pick my jaw up off the floor. I was like, this is amazing.
How lucky is his wife?
Yeah. Yeah. Transpo driver. So good.
That is fucking great.
It was amazing. I mean, that show I think really was the first of its kind. And
right.
I just can't wait to see what else Joey does and how they're going to go about, changing this industry from the inside out in terms of if you're a feeling sensitive person, you're going to make beautiful.
Right. One of my heroes, you got to play her daughter, Judith Light, who I know because I've met a few times. I just have to, can I just tell you a Judith Light story? When I don't know, it was in the 90s and I've always been an activist for equality. And we went to the March on Washington, I think it might've been at the AIDS. I had been working at the AIDS ride since like 84. And she spoke at this rally and I must've been, 24, 25, and this is the 80s and it's not, we're in the middle of this AIDS crisis. You being out, like you just couldn't be out. I mean, it was a whole different world. Like the AIDS crisis totally, you couldn't hide, gay men couldn't hide anymore. That was the thing. They had to come out because they're walking down the street at skeletons and people realized, it really and it also brought the community together. But she spoke at one of the marches or one of the rallies and it was the most moving, she said something about love. There's no bad love. And it was like, here's this straight woman who doesn't have to come out here and support. And this is when it wasn't popular, she's so like, I just like have this deep admiration and love for her. She's such an incredible person.
She is and I tell her this every time I see her, she is a national treasure.
Yes.
And I think, I didn't play her daughter. I played the young her.
Oh, I mean the young, yes. I'm sorry. Her as a young. Sorry about that.
Oh my God, no.
That must have been so challenging.
I mean, I thank God I have a, fancy MFA from Yale.
Yeah.
They taught me how to actually trust my instincts there. And I trusted my instincts. And that involved, I had watched a bunch of Transparent. I'd watched it twice over the whole first 2 seasons because I came in season 3. And I just decided in order to prepare to play like young Shelley, I was going to actually watch both seasons through for the children. Just watch the actors playing her kids. Because I needed to be closer to them than to Judith herself.
Right.
And that was I'm just so glad I trusted that. Otherwise, I think I would have, been doing an imitation of or
Right. Yeah.
And that's
like just on the surface. Yeah.
But when we met, I actually did that first episode, the first time we see young Shelley. I did that before ever meeting Judith. And I think that was really important because when I met her, we had I have pictures of the first time I met her, and we're just like crying and laughing. And she grabbed me, touched my nose, and she was like, "Oh, you got a better nose than me. I love you so much." It was so.
She
is the light. She
is. I know. I know. That's perfect. That's a perfect name for, whatever, Judy. You sent Sutton Foster fan mail because you were obsessed with Thoroughly Modern Millie.
Uh-oh. Yeah.
And she sent back a headshot that said, "Follow your dreams."
That's right. She did.
And then you're working with Sutton Foster.
I followed those dreams right down to the brass tacks. Signed me up in a series with Sutton for 7 years.
Come on. That does not, when you said to her, well, I'm sure she had no recollection whatsoever, right?
No, she didn't.
Zero. What was her reaction when you said, when I was 14, blah, blah, blah,
Sutton has like the most like joyous, buoyant laughter. So when I told her that, she just had this huge smile and like threw her head back and did a big cackle. She loved it. But now it's become both our inside joke and the entire cast's inside joke. And like, if we can't get our shit together in a scene, I'll just be like, "Follow your dreams, Foster." And it's become we troll each other with the "Follow your dreams" XO Sutton Foster.
I fucking love that. I love that. So you go to Skidmore, you go to Yale. Like, what was it like when you got into Yale? Were you like, oh my God, like,
I mean, so I went right out of undergrad, which I was not prepared for in many ways, but I assumed that I would have to audition like a couple of times because most people audition once, twice, 3 times before.
Right.
And so I was like, well, this will just be, I'm just going to introduce myself to them. But yet also I was like, and I'm also going to get in.
Right.
Delusional.
But don't you wish you had that now? Like, that's the thing. I go, when I think back and I'm like, I had no fucking clue. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to get and I want a little bit of that left because they chip it away until you're just a fucking bitter old dyke like me. Yeah.
No, I mean, I guess, I am only 14, but I'm to being a bitter dyke. I don't fucking know. It was, when I got in, I knew that I had gotten in. When I was first auditioning, because it's a long process, you go to Yale, you audition, you have an end of hour callback, then end of day. So you have at the end of hour, you do your monologues again. And then at the end of the day, you have a brief interview with the chairs of the department. Is that
for everyone or just sometimes they go at end of hour, take care, have a nice day?
Oh no. Yeah. They only like 1 or 2 people from each hour get an end of hour callback. And
oh my God, wait, so you're sitting there. How do they announce it?
Yeah, there were 2 of us. They just like go on this in the hallway. They like tape a list of names on the board.
Oh my God. That's so 7th grade. Did I get in the school play?
Exactly. No, it is. It was fully, did I get in the school play? And I got into the school play at the end of hour, and then I got cast again at the school play end of day. And as each time I saw my name, I was like, okie dokie. And I was very real with them at the end of our callback when I had the interview with both the chairs. I was like, listen, I know that I'm funny. I know that I'm quirky. And I actually trust that I'll be able to work. But I will likely work as, a funny girl for a while. But
Right.
I know that I am a whole big, complete person. And I need the training to like solidify that and build that. And they were like, interesting. I was like, I know what I'm good at, and I know what I want to train in, and I need your help to do that. And
wow, confidante.
it was less confidence and more like, I don't know. My grandfather just gave me some surety. It was.
I fucking love Joe and Bina. I love you, Joe and Bina. Rest in peace. Power.
But there was something magical happening. And so when they said that they would call like 9 days after, because then I had to have and then they have a callback weekend, like 3 weeks after that. So crazy.
All right, let's just review that you're there when people don't see their name and leave crying hysterically. And were you like, oh, I feel so bad? But
I was uncomfortable. I was like, this is them. But
yay. Yeah. Okay. So then you do all that, and then you have to wait 3 weeks.
I think it's like 2 or 3 weeks. Then you find out if you're invited to final callback weekend, and they invite 30 people and they accept 15 people into the incoming class. So you know that you have 50-50 chances of getting in or not. And it's a 2-day like callback. There's classes, there's interviews, you do your monologues again. It's everything. And then the students also like show you the campus and kind of answer questions.
Did you, for the 3 weeks you were waiting, like, were you like, oh my God, I can't. This is the longest.
Yeah, I had basically IBS. I lost a bunch of weight because I couldn't hold down any food. I was so.
I gotta audition and wait 3 weeks if that's a weight loss thing.
Listen, for a nervous 21-year-old, it was a weight loss program. Then okay, so at the end of callback weekend, they're like, so you'll know within like 9 or 10 days, and we'll call you. So it was on the 9th or 10th day, and I didn't get a call, but I was waiting for it. I was expecting the phone to ring.
And this is pre-cell phone? No, you had your cell phone.
But I didn't have
a
cell phone.
Okay, got you.
Waiting, I'm expecting it. And then I was in rehearsal for this play as a senior in college, and I borrowed the stage manager's computer. I was like, I got to check my email. I just have to see it. And I got my acceptance letter, and I screamed.
Oh my God, that's so exciting!
Onto the floor, and I was like, oh my God. I mean, and a part of me, I was shocked because I didn't get the phone call. So I was like, no, but I got in. I know I got in. I know that I did.
Right.
And so it was just.
It's like you question yourself. Is this real? Is this real? Is this real? It's so, yeah, this business can fucking, oh my God, that's such an exciting story. I love that. Thank you so much for listening to part 1 of Kill Me Now with the one, the only Molly Kate Bernard. How fucking great. Come on, that was a good get, people. Come on. Anyway, Kill Me Now is produced by Laura Vogel, edited by Colin Schmaling. This podcast would not be possible without the help, the loyalty, and the dedication of Brittany Jo Sowards. Now, I need you to subscribe. I need you to leave a review. 5 stars, please. 5 stars. I really, really need that because I want more people to know about the podcast so I can keep it going, okay? Because it is a labor of love. Thank you. If you haven't purchased my book, yes, I can say that. When They Come for the Comedians, We're All in Trouble. Or listen to my book, yes, I can say that. When They Come for the Comedians, We're All in Trouble. You have really major issues because you listen to my podcast and you're listening at the end of my podcast, when it's basically over and you haven't read my book. It's ridiculous. Okay. So please do that. You can get all links and any information about me that you would like to know about upcoming dates and everything at judygold.com, JUDYGOLD.com. Also, if you haven't seen the movie Hysterical on Hulu, you have to see it. It's really fucking great. I'm really proud to be a part of it.
Oh, and I just did Godcast. The Tweet of God has a podcast where I play Ruth Bader Ginsburg, so please check that out. I'm going to be in Provincetown all summer doing shows, July and August, yeah. So I will be needing you to come see me if you are on the Cape, because you will fucking have so much fun. Listen, go to judygold.com. You'll see all my dates and everything. Also, I'm on Twitter and Instagram at Judy Gold, JEWDYGOLD, because I'm a Jew and I'm a proud Jew and I'm proud to be Jewish. So that's it. Thank you all so much for listening. I really do appreciate it. And I'm proud that we've done so many episodes, and I love interviewing people. So thank you so much. Please get vaccinated if you haven't been vaccinated. It's really important. Really fucking important. And as the world gets back to normal, which I don't even know what the fuck normal is, I hope we are all safe and well, and there's fucking peace. I can't take this. Can't even read the paper anymore. So, I mean, I do, but because I have to, but it's so depressing. Anyway, thank you all so much for listening. And as we always say, so long.
Don't forget to tune in next week to Just Kill Me Now.
It's Just Kill Me.
Oh. Don't forget to turn for part 2 on Just Kill Me.
No, it's not. It's
Just Kill Me.
No.
Judy Gold's Just Kill Me.
Just.
Just Kill Me Now.